The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Nick Harris, and Derek Eagleton.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of The Break. Derek is not here today, but we got me, we got Nick, we got Bryan. How are you guys doing?
Who's me?
Me, Ambar. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Doing well.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got on the second segment a little game for you guys that we'll see how that goes. But for now, I wanted to start off, even though the schedule is a little different this week because of the Monday Night Football, I wanted to start off just kind of highlighting the injuries again and kind of where we're at on that aspect of any of the guys that are expected to be back for this weekend. Do you have an update?
Yeah, where do you want to start? 1/3 of the Cowboys active roster was listed on the injury report yesterday. So there's three of us on here. At least one of us would have been on the injury report if we were on the 53-man roster. I guess things that really stand out, Deron Bland continuing to not practice, sounding like he's going to go. Kalen Carson still kind of dealing with the shoulder. I think that's probably trending towards something that he'll battle all season, but he was also listed with an illness and did not practice. I think in that case, specifically, you look at Carson or you look at Israel Mukuamu potentially to start on Monday night, just kind of depending on which guy the coaching staff feels a little bit more comfortable with. Going down the list here, Jake Ferguson did not practice with an illness. Jordan Lewis did not practice with a neck injury. Hunter Lipke did not practice with a calf injury. Zach Martin did not practice with a shoulder injury. And then Nick Vigil did not practice with a foot injury. I think a couple of positive notes you could look at, though. DeMarvion Overshown, he left that Eagles game with a knee injury. He was a full participant yesterday. That's really good to see. And then Cooper Rush, he's battling kind of a neck thing. He was a full participant yesterday. But certainly a lot of guys on this list and a lot of breaking down to do.
This year has been very challenging in so many different aspects. Bryan, you mentioned some for the Houston Texans.
For the Texans, if I could. I had a chance yesterday to interview on 105.3 The Fan. We had a chance to interview a writer that covers the Texans. And what's interesting is Colby Stott is his name, and he was bringing up that Will Anderson probably was not going to play in this game. The very talented edge rusher. He says, listen, Darryl Stingley, the cornerback, dealing with a hip injury. He says, Lassiter, the other corner, dealing with a concussion, might not play in this game. He made it sound like that they might be down three of their key players on defense. We'll see what happens when we get to Monday in inactives, but he didn't sound too promising. If you told me that Anderson, Stingley, and Lassiter were not going to play in this football game, that's a big win right there for the Cowboys to have to deal with, because we talked about it here. Their secondary, I think, is really, really good, and Stingley being a big part of that, and Lassiter being a big part of that. And so if they have to go with some backups, I think that would bode well for the Cowboys' chances to potentially move the football.
Well, going back to the Cowboys injury report, looking at the cornerback position specifically, I mean, Diggs is good to go. Kalen Carson, you did mention shoulder/illness, did not practice. But the one that caught my eye, Jordan Lewis, how serious is this neck situation?
Yeah, I haven't asked about it. Honestly, not sure.
Very
I don't
concerning.
have anything for you, yeah.
We've been talking about the cornerback position,
Yeah.
and he has been one of the bright spots there for sure.
He has.
So let's say if this was something that was to be kind of more on the serious end of things, where it could potentially, and we don't know yet, we'll have to wait and see. But if there was a scenario where he's affected in that game, and then you got Kalen Carson with what he's dealing with, how are you looking at this cornerback position and secondary overall.
Yeah, you have one more elevation for Josh Butler. That's a guy that they've elevated in the past. Andrew Booth is now on the practice squad, so he has 3 elevations remaining. And then you have a lot of shuffling that you'd probably have to do if Jordan Lewis and or Kalen Carson could not go. You're looking at Israel Mukwamu as an option as well in that mix, but you need Deron Bland back so bad. And I think it's getting to a point now, we've talked about it on the show this week, I think starting next week, you either have to make the decision to shut him down or to bring him back. And you need that roster spot when it comes to the corner position, because whenever Kalen Carson goes down, Jordan Lewis goes down, does not practice yesterday with specific injuries, then you're really starting to test that corner depth even more. I mean, it's been tested since the very beginning, since week 1, but you're testing it even more as the season goes on.
Yeah, one of the reasons why you've actually had some success at the nickel, if you look at the way the position's played for the league, Jordan Lewis is one of the top nickel players and slot players, and in a year where a lot of things have gone wrong, Jordan Lewis has been one of the things that's been really, really good. And I reached out to somebody in the organization. Maybe by the time of the end of our show, we can get a concern of where they're at with him, and hopefully it's just. No, he'll be fine, just precautionary kind of thing, and we have the extra day, and we'll move on from there. But it's that time of year, and when you're a 3-6 team, it seems like those injuries even compound more. Nick was talking about Bland. They were in really, they felt like was really good shape with Bland, and then they had that Thursday practice, and that the soreness came back, and. They've been trying to get. That's what they've been working on, is trying to get that soreness to go away. So, unfortunately, he's yet to make an appearance here. But boy, they've had way too many injuries in that secondary this year. And if Jordan Lewis can't go, well, that will be. We talk about the Texans and them losing guys. Jordan Lewis being out would really hurt this football team defensively.
Well, that's going to be an interesting situation there when you've already been struggling so much injury-wise on the defensive side of the ball. And I wanted to pose this question to you guys. I've seen a couple of people, the majority of people fans don't want to use this as an excuse, but I've seen a few people on Twitter just bring up this whole idea of like, okay, the Cowboys have been really slapped by the injury bug throughout the year and the season. How much do you attribute to that being the reason why they're in the position that they're currently at versus you just being bad?
Yeah.
Period.
I actually put up a big analysis this morning on Star Telegram, quick plug. And it was basically, how did the Cowboys get here? How did they get to 3-6? How did they become one of the league's big disappointments this year? Injuries was one of those major concerns. It was probably, third or fourth on that list, but it's definitely something that's played a role, because I think if you head into this season fully healthy and you battle the usual nicks and knacks and dinks throughout the season, then I think this team is in a better position than 3-6. You look at Deron Bland, you look at Sam Williams, you look at Dak, obviously, you look at Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, the list goes down. I don't think there's been, maybe CeeDee Lamb is the only guy who hasn't missed a game that you would consider like an all-pro on year-to-year basis. Tyler Smith as well. But it's been really tough. The injury bug has really hit this team hard this season.
Injuries have been tough. We misevaluated this team some, though, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We felt like that there were players that we were going to ask to play bigger roles. They really lean on the draft. They really tried to lean on the draft. They were hopeful that Mozzie Smith would be better. It's funny, Mozzie Smith plays really well against divisional opponents. His 2 best games this year have been against the Giants and the Eagles, so maybe he's a divisional player. I'm just tongue-in-cheek saying that right now. He needs to be good for all the games. But yeah, they were asking Tolbert to be better. They were asking Terrence Steele to be better. I don't think they expected Zach Martin to take a step down the way he played. I don't think they expected what was going to happen at tackle, where the learning curve was going to be so steep. I think the center's got a lot of promise, but there's some position. I mentioned Mozzie. I mentioned Luke Schoonmaker too. By the way, Nick, I'm watching way too much Michigan tape already on college draft stuff.
I think only the fans will be upset at you for that one.
Yeah, but I'm trying my best to. But they're good players. The thing is that we really, the injuries were a big part. But yeah, they they misevaluated, I misevaluated this football team and what it needed to do to compete with the Eagles. The Commanders, I give the Commanders a lot of credit for, they're still not very good, I don't think, on defense, but the Commanders have found a quarterback. They got skill guys. Their team is going to be something you're going to have to deal with. So now, instead of just dealing with the Eagles, you're going to have to deal with the Commanders too. So, Will McClay has done a really nice job through the years of building a team that can win the division. But his job is going to be now even more important with the fact that the Commanders are showing up, and the misevaluation of his team at certain spots and asking guys to elevate their game. That I think that hurt them in the way this injuries are bad, but some misevaluations are there as well.
I think it really started with the 2023 draft class. I think you could pin all the way back to that being a starting point, just because this team is relying so much on youth.
Yeah.
And that youth just didn't show up last year. I mean, you look at that. There was ESPN had put out a report at the end of the regular season last year about how all 32 draft classes performed, and Dallas was dead last, 32nd.
Yeah.
And you're relying on that draft class to take over some big starting roles going into 2024, and we're starting to see what that brings you. You look at Luke Schoonmaker, 6 offensive snaps in the last 3 games combined. Yeah. Mozzie Smith ranked dead last out of all defensive tackles in the league according to Pro Football Focus. Overshown's really starting to step up since his ACL injury, but Viliami Fehoko out of the building. Jalen Brooks, he's I think in the bottom 6 of receivers in the league in Pro Football Focus. So really tough. I think it started with that 2023 draft class though.
Yeah, especially when you're having to play mainly younger players.
Well,
and
if you're a draft and develop team,
that's what
which they've chosen, that's the bet. You now have seen the ugly truth of when you're draft and develop, and you have 6, 7 picks and only one of them plays, or that's really the problem right there. And we'll see how things play out. The one thing with all the injuries that a lot of young guys have got to play. We've seen Carson play. We've seen Leofau play. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the defensive end play all that much. Hopefully he'll come back here pretty soon. But that's a struggle. That is a real struggle when you're that type of team. You need those picks to play and to play at a high level. I'm not asking you to play at Pro Bowl level at all those players, but you need guys that are not being their reps are being limited, like a Luke Schoonmaker.
Let's go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we'll get into the Yeti segment, and then we'll hit some of the preview for this game on Monday Night Football.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's Stay in Your Car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. This is the second segment of the break presented by blockchain.com. And now, can I please have that back? Sorry. Thank you very much.
I could have read it.
No.
Just a Yeti?
Yeah, we're going to get into the Yeti segment. And this Yeti segment is presented by Yeti. Officially licensed Yeti Cowboy gear is now available at the Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Okay, so for this game, today's game, I'm just going to present different scenarios, like football game, during the game scenarios, and I want to ask you guys what kind of decision you would make as a coach. You're calling the plays, making the decisions here, okay? So we're in the 2-minute drill, down by 4 points. And make sure you're taking notes if you need to. Down by 4, 1 timeout left. This is the situation. It's the final drive on the game. You're trailing by 4 points with 1:40 left on the clock.
Okay.
You've got 1 timeout remaining, and you're starting at your own 35-yard line. You need to score 1 touchdown to win. So what type of passing play do you call? Do you take the shots down the field or play more conservatively to manage the clock?
Hold on. Who's my offense?
You got what you got.
So you're the Cowboys
So the Cowboys right now?
You're the Cowboys right now, but this is where... Regardless, this is where they got you in the game, right?
Right. I'm just asking, who do I have on the field?
You got what you got.
Okay.
So the Cowboys currently, as
You're
they
coaching
stand...
the Cowboys right now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Is that with Dak at quarterback, or is this with Cooper Rush at quarterback?
I would say Dak.
Okay, Dak at quarterback.
Okay, then does that mean... Okay. All right. Let me figure this out.
Can we do it this way? Play it with Cooper Rush.
I think that affects a lot of the decision.
But I think that's what you can maybe.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it with Cooper.
Cooper Rush. What are you going to do?
Currently have your current staff available.
I'll tell you what. Because you can't take any big shots with Cooper. Here's what I'm going to do to get down the field, right?
You're at your 35, 1 timeout.
35, 1 timeout. Okay, I'm taking on the very first snap. I'm going corner route or something along the sideline to CD. I'm going to get him 10-yard completion out of bounds. That takes off probably 7 seconds, whatever. You get to, let's say, 47-yard line, right? Then I'm going to bring out Trey Lance, and the defense is going to be a little bit more buffered,
Right.
and so I'm going to
play prevent maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a read option with Trey Lance, and I'm going to run him out for about 7-8 yards. And if he breaks a big gain, then he breaks a big gain because the defense is going to be playing off. And if he gets tackled, in bounds, then that's where I can use my timeout if I wanted to. I don't think I necessarily have to. Get back up to the line, throw Cooper out there. Be sure you're talking to him while he's on the sideline, being like, "Hey, this is what we're going to run if this happens, right?" So he goes up. You're across midfield at that point. And then you start using that Jake Ferguson across the middle of the field. You might still have that 1 timeout, and if you do, you can use it at some point. And then it'll set you up about the 20-yard line, about 30 seconds to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what you did there.
Thank you.
I've got the 1 timeout. I'm at my 35. I'm probably going to start with a screen. I'm probably going to run because if I'm playing the Texans, I think they're going to bring 5-man pressure. I think they're going to try and blitz me. I know they're big down.
Are we playing the Texans?
Or is this just, I was just thinking about maybe this week's scenario. I was just playing maybe this week's scenario, how to win the game. But we're just jacking your game up right now.
Good. I mean, I should have laid out. This is when the moon is hitting at this.
No. But if
I should have laid out the whole scenario.
But if you're playing the Texans, if I was playing the Texans this week, this is how I'd play it. I would try. I have a feeling they're probably going to try and blitz me. They're going to bring some kind of pressure here. Is what they're going to try and do. I'm going to pray. I'm going to throw a screen. I'm going to pray I don't get a holding call on Guyton. Is what I'm going to pray that he doesn't lose his guy, and then I could get this up. I'm going to throw I'm going to throw a screen to Rico Dowdle. I'm going to try and get some yards out of that. I'm going to hustle up to the line, and now I'm going to try and find a way, because if all their guys are playing, I kind of feel like that my best opportunity to maybe make a play would be the next with Ferguson. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to run my screen. I'm going to find Ferguson along the sideline, maybe run him, bring him across the formation, run him on an out, throw him the ball, maybe get 6-7 yards there. And I'm going to try and just kind of methodically move down the field. I don't want to give them any time. I want to win this thing. I want to win this thing. But I'm not afraid to run the ball, though, too, because I still got a timeout left. But if I hit a big screen, if I get the out route, if I hit another pass, now that gives me an opportunity to maybe run the ball. If I get down where I'm getting inside, say their 10-yard line, I'm a goal-to-go situation. I'm thinking about, okay, don't leave them any more time. So I'm doing my best to try not to use my timeout. So I'm going to use the screen, the out, maybe another out, and then take the shots that I need to take down there. Hopefully I still have my timeout left. Hopefully I didn't give up a sack. But I'm trying to work all my guys. Dowdle, Ferguson, and Lamb are what I'm trying to do to get the touchdown.
I wish we had a live voting system where fans and listeners right now could vote best play caller here, which play you guys like the best. But hit us on Twitter or X.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Okay, next situation here. You're on your own 48-yard line.
Own 48. We're kicking field goals from there.
Yeah.
Down by 3 points.
Oh, yeah. We're
okay.
good.
Here
Down
we go.
by 3 points with just under 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Third quarter. Okay.
The opposing defense is strong, but you need the conversion to sustain the drive.
Yeah.
Do you go for it on 4th and 1 or punt the ball? Or
69-yarder. No, I'm going for that. Yeah, I'm going for that. 4th and 1, I'm going for that.
Yeah, I think metrics will tell you to go for it. But you're playing against a strong defense. I personally...
Would you run up the middle on the outside or try to quick pass?
What defense am I playing? Am I playing the Texans?
Let's play the Texans again. Yeah.
If Will Anderson's out, I'm running left.
Yeah, to me, I'm trying. This is where you maybe put Trey Lance in again.
Yeah.
You talk about okay, with Trey Lance, they would understand. They would probably think, oh my gosh, there's a chance for quarterback carry, read option, stuff like that. So maybe the flip, maybe the fake and the flip going the other way. So yeah, I'm going for that. I think that's. I don't want to give them the ball on my side if I can help it.
Yeah.
I think
Trey Lance can get that for you.
I think
whatever
Trey Lance,
you do,
yeah.
Whatever you do, my God, it's not out of shotgun. Please be under center.
No, but that's the problem. Damn good and well it's going to be out of shotgun.
Yeah.
No, seriously,
It will be.
I literally 60 years old. I sit in the press box and I just die every time.
It's terrible.
I just sit there and go, please don't take the ball away from the line of scrimmage. But if the way they do it, they snap it and they flip it and they don't just hand it to Hunter Lipke and get the first down. That's what they need to do.
That's exactly what I would do.
See, that's what I'm saying. I would put my split backs and just slash it with Hunter Lipke, just hand it inside and then have the back peel. So you get that eye candy look where you got movement going away, but the ball's coming back to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Try and play with the eyes of the, but they never do that.
You never know. Maybe they'll listen to this show.
I watch a lot of film. I see people convert 3rd and 4th downs all day.
Or it could be an I formation. You got Trey Lance, you got Lipke, and you got Dowdle. Play action to Dowdle, wheel route to Lipke around the left side, 48-yard touchdown.
I'll tell you what I saw. I saw Alabama do this. Alabama was playing Tennessee in a game in college football, and Jalen Milroe, and they were packed inside. Tennessee was really packed. And what they did was they knew that they were going to pack it inside. He took the snap and went down the line to his left, and they blocked the edge. Mm-hmm. So they caved everybody down inside. They kicked the edge out, and Milroe ran up through, just kind of went along the line and then went up for like about 30 yards.
Yeah.
Like it could have been a touchdown, the Tennessee safety, but it was, they were thinking, it was going to be a tush-push kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They just went along the line, compressed everybody, kicked the in man out, and he went up this. I mean, it was a beautiful play on 4th and 1. They got 30 yards on the play. Stuff like that. That would never happen here.
I can't wait to talk about Jalen Milroe on the draft show.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun segment.
I know you can't.
All right, next one. First quarter, 2nd and 20. This is after a holding penalty.
Oh, of course.
So you're on your own 25-yard line after a big holding penalty. It pushed you back to 2nd and 20.
Oh, it's 2nd and 20. Okay.
Yeah. 2nd and 20. The defense is playing a deep zone, and you still need yardage to make it manageable for a 3rd down conversion. So do you go for a conservative gain, like a screen pass or draw, or do you take a deep shot to make up for the lost yards? And what would you do in this scenario?
I throw a slant to Lamb is what I do, and I try and get 13 yards.
That's good.
Is what I do. I'm taking the snap and I'm running a slant. I'm throwing the ball to Cooper Rush's right, so I'm bringing CeeDee Lamb right to left on the slant. I'm hitting him. I'm hoping he gets up the field, and I hope it's a gain of about 12 to 13 yards and make it 3rd and 7.
And I'll give you a plan B for that option in case they cover that slant. So you can go 5 wide, right? You can put Rico Dowdle out in the slot,
spread him
motion him back in, and then run a Texas route with Rico Dowdle, right in front of the defense. So that linebacker either
somewhere
has a choice
Jerry
to take
Madelon
Dowdle.
wants to explain Texas route.
Texas route will be like the angle route. So Dowdle will go to out and then back in, and he basically crosses right in front of the linebacking core. Yeah. So that forces this linebacker who's having to account for Dowdle coming across because now he's in motion, so the eye candy is there. Right. He either has to account for Lamb on the slant. He'll think, okay, they're trying to get my mind off of Dowdle. I'm going to go to Lamb on the slant. And if he moves to Lamb, then you have Dowdle. But if he moves to Dowdle, you have Lamb. It puts that linebacker in a really precarious situation.
I'll tell you another one you could probably do. You can line up what the great job explaining the Texas route, by the way. I appreciate that. I would do I would put get on the right side. I would put Tolbert and Lamb. I'd put Tolbert outside of Lamb in like a twins formation to the right. I would drive Tolbert inside and run the pick and run Lamb behind him. So what you kind of do right there is you drive the pick and you have the separation. So now you just throw the ball to Lamb going away is another thing I would think about doing right there.
You're risking the potential pick penalty to mark you back even further.
I don't care. You know what? I mean,
I'm not a fan of that one. I just feel like it wouldn't be well executed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to do it. I don't think you want to do it with Brooks, or I don't think you want to do it with Flournoy, one of those guys. You might be. How about our new guy? Maybe our new Jonathan Mingo. Maybe something big body guy. See, that's what I would do. Drive Mingo inside, Lamb behind, right up the sidelines, toss it to him, first down.
Tell you what, there's not a lot to be excited about right now, and I understand that.
But you're excited about Jonathan Mingo
I'm excited to watch him.
I am too.
Do I still believe that they overpaid for him? Yes. Yeah. Do I still believe that it probably wasn't the best addition they could have made at the deadline? Yes. But it's something different, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm excited to see what he can bring to the offense.
I am too. Hopefully we get to see some of that this weekend. All right, next situation. 3rd and goal at the 8. Down by 7 points, 2 minutes left. So
we're dead.
You're in a high-stake game.
Of course. Defense is giving it up.
As always. High stake. Down 7 with 2 minutes left. You've got the ball.
Can I ask a real quick question? Nick, can you go for 2 if you score?
Yes. Okay. Well, it depends. It depends. It depends where the momentum is going in that game.
Okay, go ahead.
You've got the ball at the opponent's 8-yard line, facing a 3rd down and goal.
Okay, we're really screwed.
The defense has been tough all day, especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
As always, right? Yeah. What do you do here? Do you attempt to fade to the corner, try a quick slant, or run a crossing route?
I run the same play you scored against the Steelers to win that game. The Tolbert. I drag one underneath, 2 over the top, and just try and pick as many guys as I can. That was a good play for them. That was a good play. I would consider, like I say, I would maybe even consider the same play that they ran where CD went into the sunlight. Whatever that play where it was the pivot route by Ferguson. He was trying to go in and out, it looked like, but he got doubled. But whatever route that was that got Lamb that open on the drag, whatever he did on that side over there, that thing opened quick. So I would sure consider. I think I'm probably going to get some kind of man coverage down there. So yeah, I'm running the picks, or I'm running CD in that route that you saw into the sun, but not into the sun because it'll be a night game.
You might call me a little crazy here, and that's okay.
I'm
okay with being crazy. I'm running a draw. Third and 8. It's 4 down territory anyway.
Yeah.
3rd and 8. I'm running a draw.
You're gonna try and get it to the 2
on 4th. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit easier on 4th.
Yeah.
And then it gives me a lot more options on 4th.
Let's take this a step further.
Trey Lance again. Maybe some stuff coming in.
Yeah.
You don't score.
Oh God.
So at this point, do you go for just the field goal on 4th down, or do you do another attempt?
What's the score? How many timeouts do I have?
You're down by 7, and you got 2 minutes left.
Oh, 2 minutes?
Yeah, you're.
I don't trust my defense.
Yeah, I'm
gonna go try and win the game.
Yeah.
You try again.
Yeah.
The reason I asked the score
I'm
is
3-6. I'm gonna go try and win the game.
Is it 7-0 or 56-49? Because is my offense producing? Is my defense not like?
I don't know. I didn't get that far into the game. That's like
fine.
building out the whole game there. I just know we're down by 7.
More often than not.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to Dan Campbell this thing. I'm going for 2. I'm 3-6.
Continue going for 2.
I'm 3-6. I'm going to try and win a football game.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and win a football game. Is what I'm going to try and do.
All right. Well, we're done with this game for today.
Is there any point in this game you would consider running a fake again? Fake field goal, fake punt, with anything leads you to believe? I
would.
I'd consider a fake field goal just because of how good your kicker is.
Yeah.
That they might really try and, we've seen like Kansas City teams blocking field goals.
Yeah.
Fake field goal might work.
It could.
Yeah.
At this point, and I've said it before, after the Eagles game, even though I know for sure that on that side of the building, they're still in and fighting, and they're not thinking that the season is over for them. But in my mind, I'm at the point where just try whatever. Like, let's just have fun. Let's have fun and try things out. Why not?
Who are you having throw it, Aubrey or Anger?
You know what, man? This is what's sad because I would get my kicker involved because I've seen where you take the snap and the kicker rolls and you throw it over the top of your
that's the LSU fake
play
from way back when.
Yeah, Les Miles did it against, I think it was Florida. But I worry about tossing the ball to
Aubrey and him
getting hurt. Can you imagine faking a field goal?
No, I'm not
Then he gets blown up.
I'm not doing it.
My gosh, you couldn't. You know that Southwest Airlines want to get away commercial.
Yeah.
Want to get away. I mean, like your bones fossil, like on the sidelines, just going.
That's an American Airlines commercial.
Yeah, it's American Airlines. Yeah, exactly.
I saw him trying to catch some passes a couple of days ago, and it was not that good.
Yeah,
just a soccer player.
A lot of drops.
Okay, then. I tell you what, man, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to fake a field goal then. Just go ahead and knock that thing home.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and take our final break. And when we come back, we're going to keep talking about the matchup for this Monday night game against the Texans.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a Pepper thing.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Back to the break.
LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game, but don't take our word for it. Digital Trends said the LG OLED G4 has the best picture quality they've ever seen. See it for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo. Welcome back to the third segment of the break, presented by LG OLED Evo.
Jason Witten, your next coach.
Hi, Brian.
Coming in hot.
Listen.
Very positive, very
the season's
positive.
not over.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. That's very
We
wrong.
still got a coach under contract.
I sure do. Could Jason Witten be the next coach of the Cowboys if they ever choose to change coaches here?
I can read the quote from Jerry.
The quote sounds like he's going to maybe give him the job if the Cowboys ever change their head coach.
He was asked on 105.3 The Fan this morning on the KNC Masterpiece, do you think Jason Witten could be an NFL head coach one day? He said, yes, without hesitation, yes. He has something you can't draw up. Reminds me a lot of our other tight end. He's the head coach up in Detroit right now, talking about Dan Campbell. So.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he won a state championship last year with Argyle Liberty Christian, and he has, but he does have a son who's a sophomore this year who's going to be a big time recruit. Maybe he wants to coach out the remaining days of his high school career, but yeah, something interesting.
Wouldn't put it past him, would you? Wouldn't put it past the Cap. How about just an interview, right?
I'm just talking about the league in general.
Yeah.
He could find a spot in the league.
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily wants to go the route of being. I don't know this. I'm just speculating. I don't know if he wants to be the route. Dan Campbell was a tight ends coach, and and then kind of became an interim coach, and then was a head coach. But I wonder. It's one of those things you'd have to. I think the way that Jerry answered that question, you would have to see. You would have to think that if they did make a change and they were interviewing guys, I think that Jason Witten would actually get a guy or get an interview, and I bet you it would come off as he would probably be the most impressive one of all the guys they've interviewed.
I feel the way I took his response was more like, we know he has high respect. He has big respect, and everyone respects Jason Witten and the career he had here. And he's a very football-oriented, football-focused, get your hands in the dirt type of guy. So I saw it more as like, absolutely, in the NFL in general, he could be a head coach. And I don't think he would deny an interview. I think he would be open to sitting down with him and listening to it.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I'll ask you guys personal question here, completely different from what the Cowboys could potentially do in the future. Would you want to have him as the head coach?
It would be interesting. To me, I am so about the coaching staff. I think the credibility that Jason Witten would bring in a locker room, I think the message, the attention to detail. I think you could find coaches that are far worse. The thing that he only lacks is the experience, But as far as a player, the way he went about the game, the knowledge, the toughness aspect that he brings, honestly, I think you could do far worse.
Yeah,
you really could. But what would be really important to me is the thing that's made Dan Campbell as good as Dan Campbell is. His staff is outstanding. It really is. I mean, and they endured, some rough go initially. They lost a lot of close games. I remember with Tucker from the Ravens to kick a 60-something yard field goal to beat the Lions. I mean, they lost a bunch of tough games. And then they went to Green Bay with nothing to play for at the end of the year and beat Green Bay and kept them out of the playoffs. And I think at that point it kind of just it elevated, the players believe in that guy. And they believe in Aaron Glenn, and they believe in Ben Johnson, and they believe in, they've done a great job at drafting players too, and signing players. But I think you could do far worse than Jason Witten. And I mean that with the hope that somebody could help him get an Aaron Glenn, get a Ben Johnson, get assistant coaches that can have the same kind of toughness and mentality that Jason Witten has. So that's the only thing that would make me nervous. I think Jason Witten standing up in front of your team is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well,
I've seen other coaches make a lot of mistakes.
Time will tell. Mike McCarthy is still under contract. His contract ends at the end of
end of the season,
football year season. Yeah. That's when it ends, and we'll see what happens there. You never know how things might change. There's the holiday season's coming up. There are miracles that happen. You never know. You never know. That would be the biggest comeback of all times, I feel like, in my eyes. Can you imagine turning the season around?
Could you imagine?
Could you imagine that?
No, I can't. I honestly can't. But I've been fooled before. I was fooled about this team coming out of training camp.
I think we all were.
Yeah. All right. So last 3 minutes of the show. What are you looking for in this matchup specifically? Whether they win or lose, what is your kind of focus point heading into this Monday Night Football?
Yeah, another shameless plug for a Star Telegram. 5 things to watch in this game. Nico Collins, his return obviously is going to have a big impact on this Texans offense. Do the Cowboys, do they roll out Israel Mukuamu or Kalen Carson to start this game? Does Trey Lance pick up more action? Does he get more than the 15 snaps that he had last week? Does he maybe pick up 20, 25? Jonathan Mingo, his debut, and then can the Cowboys find any sort of success against this Texans defense? Those are the things I'm looking at.
Yeah, I'm looking at can Dallas continue to have some success on defense rushing the passer, and we're going to see more of Overshown. The Houston Texans offensive line, we've got into this, has not been very good this year. Yeah. And if the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game on Monday night, their defense is going to have to play again to the level they played, last week against the Eagles. But what I'm looking forward to is, can this offense? We saw Mike Zimmer do some things differently to try and help his defense. Is there anything that Mike McCarthy and this coaching staff can do offensively that gives them a different look and gives them a chance against a pretty good Texans defense? If that doesn't happen, then you're probably going to see another defeat here. But that's your hope. It sounds like the Texans are banged up on their defense, but can Mike McCarthy come up with something that's different, that can maybe find a way to generate more points than they've had?
Yeah, it sucks to see new players being added to the injury report, but on the offensive side of the ball, I am hoping to see at least something different. Even if they were to lose this game, something different on offense. Yeah. Try different plays. Mingo, that's someone to keep an eye on and see maybe if it changes your mind, Brian, on that. And but
it's the only chance they have.
We'll see.
I think the defense will play well enough.
Yeah.
I think the defense can. The offense not be
They've shown you they can.
If the offense is 3 and out 5-6 times in this game, they're not going to win this game. There's no way they're going to win this game.
All right. Well, no show on Monday. We will not be here because of the game. So we'll come back on Tuesday and talk about the game and how everything went, what went right, what went wrong is what
hopefully we're not the only ones that no show.
That what?
Hopefully we're not the only ones that no show.
Yeah.
Bang! On that note, for Crispy.
All right.
For Nick Harris, Bryan Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, this has been The Break on DallasCowboys.com/radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!